with the lady?
Yes, you're good to go. You're good to go. Hello and welcome to Broker Than You. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. I would like to thank our sponsors. Number one, and he's here with us, Procyon Partners, one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. They specialize in employee benefits, wealth management, and retirement planning. President Sean Rabinowitz is a proud supporter of our podcast network, and we love him very much. And we're happy to have him on with us today to talk some business and give you guys all some advice. We also have Green Street Trust International, owned and operated by Rennell Jump and Yukon legendary men's player Jake Voskel. They specialize in tax plans for businesses large and small. They will save you money or get you a big fat return on your taxes. To schedule your free strategic tax planning session today, go to www.greenstreettrust.com. Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm is located in Bridgeport, Connecticut. If you've suffered any type of personal injury, a slip and fall, a car accident, your mother-in-law ran you over with her car, your wife got angry one night and decided to stab you, the Finch firm is for you. Pete has won legal battles all across the state of Connecticut, and he will go to war to get every dollar you deserve in compensation. You just have to remember, in a pinch, call Finch or go to his website, thefinchfirm.com. Andre Dixon runs Dynamic Human Performance out of Hartford, Connecticut, a 5,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility. He trains boys and girls of all ages, all sports. He has a boot camp program 7 days a week, 6 a.m. You want to get in shape? You go to Andre. He has an athletic development program. He works with boys and girls in the sport of their choice, trains them from the ground up, develops them, helps them to reach their full potential. And Andre has sent boys and girls to college on scholarship for all different types of sports. To work with him, go to www.dynamichumanperformance.com. Down south, we have Julius Williams and the Trench Mob. Julius is in Decatur, Georgia. He trains offensive and defensive linemen. They compete in 5v5 tournaments and college showcase camps. Proud to say, every tournament they attended, they were undefeated. And at every showcase camp they went to, a member of the Trench Mob was offered a college scholarship. Julius has sent kids to schools like Florida, Florida State, Miami, Tennessee, Clemson, Georgia, Alabama, just to name a few. To work with the best in your alignment down south. And remember, the Trench Mob show is on tonight at 8:30 p.m. www.battleofthetrenches.com. And with us, our all-star cast, we have the king of real estate in Erie, Pennsylvania, Mr. Laban March, who did not change up his facial hair look this week.
I cleaned it up. No, I cleaned it up this morning. I knew you'd like the Fu Manchu, but next week,
I know. I love it.
I'm hoping to have
I love it, Laban. I love it.
Laban gets more comments on his facial hair than anyone. Every week, I get questioned on what he's going to have.
I attribute it to all the milk I consume. I don't know how that has a correlation, but I drink a ton of whole milk, and I think that makes the facial hair grow quicker. Something like that.
We have Mr. James Whitfield of Luther James Insurance, specializing in insurance policies, especially life insurance. He will save you a boatload of money and do so tax-free. And his website is lutherjamesinsurance.com. James, great to see you as always.
Same here.
And the man down south in Chapel Hill, the entrepreneur of Fresh Fold Laundry Co. at a new location. A lot going on down there. I connected you with my cousin. I hope he got back to you. Fresh himself, Ned Von Young. Good to see you, sir.
Freshy fresh.
Who came to us from the state fair last week.
Bro, yeah, you travel all over the place, bro.
And our special guest himself from Procyon Partners, the financial wizard, Sean Rabinowitz. Sean, great to see you.
Cully, always happy to be here. I want to add a plug for one of your sponsors. I'm not sure if you're aware,
Yes.
but attorney Pete Finch just dropped a new single under his stage name, Da Vinci.
Oh, he did.
Bro, I'm afraid you're not even kidding, are you? You're serious.
I'm not.
We're gonna
I'm
have
not
to cut
kidding.
it.
It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. It's all over social media. It's about as good as it gets. So
I'm gonna,
just
I'm gonna have to
plug
put that
into,
on.
Check that out. Check that. I mean, that's got to get on one of your podcasts.
Oh, my.
I know I will for sure. Pete has the best commercials. He's got the best billboards and advertising in Connecticut.
When it comes to marketing, because we've got a guy here locally that has done plumbing, and this dude would have an oversized wrench, and like he'd wear doing some of these crazy commercials. But bro, it works. I mean, as long as you deliver in the service or the product, bro, that type of stuff. I mean, I don't know how people come up with it or how they have the gumption to do it, but man, I love watching his
you gotta be entertaining. Yeah, if you have a personality and you're entertaining and you can do it, absolutely, because people, that's something that people will remember you by,
right?
And that's the biggest thing. You have
he is all over. He is all over. If you drive
he's everywhere.
Where he's, his main kind of business area is Fairfield County, right around Bridgeport. He's at bus stops. He's on. I mean, you turn your head and you're always seeing in a pinch.
You're always seeing in a pinch call Finch. Yes.
What is his stage name? What's his
Da Vinci?
Da
Vinci.
Yeah,
DAFIN.
Da Vinci.
Da Vinci. It really is. It's entertaining. I mean, he's been producing for 20-something years.
Yeah, he has. Yep.
And that's where I started. Pete and I did a TV show on Husky TV when we were in school together.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. So this and that's kind of like Nicky Castaway. Like this time in life was made for a few people that have been doing it since the old school VHS, and they have to be just coming into prime time. I didn't realize Pete did that for all those years. That's really cool.
Yeah, he really. I mean, in all honesty, I think being an attorney was kind of his backup plan.
Secondary.
He really wanted to get into entertainment. I will tell you, when you mentioned VHS tapes, he has no VHS tapes of our programming. He wanted no evidence of.
You wanted no evidence of what went on.
No evidence of those shows. I thought they were great, but I don't think it was the right element that he was trying to produce.
Once he got his degree in law, he probably realized it's better if I just get rid of these. Yeah.
He got some stuff out on the web. Pete has done some very big time interviews. Like Pete has interviewed Lil Wayne.
Really?
Yeah.
Dig a little bit.
He was doing interviews, interviewing hip hop artists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He got some solid. He had some. He was doing interviewing people in entertainment, hip hop people in entertainment, and he was.
He's got the personality for it. That's why he's such a good attorney, because he does personal injury, and that's all selling the jury, putting on a show. And he can do it. He's great at it. And if you see his ads and commercials, even on his social media page, they're unbelievable. The way he produces them, he's great. But Sean, I'm going to start with you because we've gotten a ton of questions about this. And now that I have a financial guy on, I can ask. People are very concerned, so to speak, of the government shutdown and how long it's going to last, how it's going to resolve itself. And financially, small businesses have definitely taken a hit. There was I think it was the head of the Small Business Association that came out and yelled at the Democrats about it. But if you could give advice to regular people who are concerned about their finances, and obviously the government shutdown doesn't typically affect them if they're not government workers necessarily. It indirectly affects them. but they're nervous, and they're tightening the belt, and they just want some tips and some advice going forward. And if you think this is going to be something that's going to be for the long haul.
So I don't think anyone needs to be overly concerned about the government shutdown.
Okay.
I think that's kind of the basis answer. I think those companies that rely heavily on government contracts are going to suffer. But keep in mind, when the government gets turned on, a lot of things go back retro, right? So you're in this gap period where, some of these small businesses that are supported by government, are probably pretty tight on payroll and maybe furloughing people.
Right.
But from a market overall, kind of when we look at a macro level, you're seeing a little bit of disruption and uneasiness in the markets, but we continue to hit all-time highs in the stock market. So
right.
I think there's a little bit of caution right now, and you're seeing some people. Certainly, if and when you think about regular people, you have to think about regular people who are retiring today,
correct,
or regular people who are retiring in 10 or 20 years, because I think they're each different bracket, their perception's a little bit different, right? If you're retiring right now, you want stability. And so I get that those people are concerned. I don't expect anything drastic to happen over the next couple months. I mean, there's other situations in the economy and the world that could impact the markets more, but overall, I don't see the government shutdown. I think, I worry about people who rely on the government for certain services, right? Those are the people that are getting, for lack of a better phrase, screwed, right? And I don't blame Democrats or Republicans. I blame government, right? There's always two sides to a story. I'm not saying that either side is right, but if you're a government, the idea is that you function as a government and you don't shut down over political ideas, and you find a way to solve problems for regular people. So
exactly,
it's incredibly frustrating. Like, if me and my partners don't agree on something, we can't just shut our business
you can't just shut down, right?
And you're shutting a business down using other people's money, right? Like, we're all paying into this government and they're not working. So what does that tell you? It drives me nuts.
Yeah. No, and now everyone's heard it from a financial expert. You don't have to freak out about it.
Actually, I take it back, Cully. We're paying tax dollars, and senators and congressmen they're not working, but they're still continuing to get paid. We're not paying our.
They're getting paid for a vacation.
Congressmen and senators. It's crazy to me.
Well, but it's very similar to the tax code. I mean, where if you want to tax the rich, change the tax code. But I mean, it's the same thing here, where there are things that need to be done, and they're not being stewards of our tax dollars. The government does not produce anything to generate revenue.
That's what Rob said.
Those of us that do generate the revenue, and that's the most frustrating thing, is that the government is essentially impeding our ability as private business owners to generate the revenue they need. And then we go back to the automation, and they're talking about these jobs that are being lost with Amazon or whatever else between AI and bots, and them not being consumers, again, is what's contributing to these small businesses struggling, because the revenue isn't there for the people that would be purchasing their products and services. And so, like to Sean's point, like, why are these people making the rules, getting paid, while holding out on all the other things? And it's like, now we hear that we're worried about military because the veterans aren't treated very well, especially when it comes to health care and how they're taken care of or not taken care of relative to illegal aliens. So, I mean, again, I don't need to dive into the weeds with why it's shut down, but I think, again, to Sean's point, it's politics, period. It's both sides. And there's just not enough stewardship But I think, again, to blame anyone's side, it's like, yeah, they could work together. There's been proposals. It's not.
Yeah, there've been a million.
It's not like, so it's not like there's not an answer. But I think, again, working through things, they need to start setting rules and policies so that the people who are accountable actually become accountable, as opposed to skirting this, continuing to cash their checks and blaming it on everybody else. It's just no, like Sean said, again, we couldn't operate our business like that.
Yeah, and just shut it down. Yeah,
you would be closed. Yeah, you're done.
James, I wanted to ask you, have you had any issues with people maybe being reluctant to purchase policies or services from you because of the shutdown affecting, maybe them wanting to spend less?
Not really.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Not really. The only thing that I'm concerned with, because I do Medicare and ACA, Affordable Care Act.
Oh, right.
Is
and that could change.
Like I'm reluctant until I see something.
Right.
And I don't want to sign somebody up for a plan and then it's going to go up in January.
Exactly.
And then there's a lot of plans that that insurance companies are not paying commissions on. Like they tell you, they'll tell you, we're not paying commissions on this plan or this plan because there's so much uncertainty in the market with for me, it's just the healthcare portion.
Yeah. And that's crazy that they're not paying commissions on it.
Yeah.
Fresh, down by you. I mean, some people had asked, because you do have a higher end laundry service and higher clientele. Has it affected you? Have people not used the service because, again, trying to save money or concerned about saving money?
Not really. I think I haven't had any really issues with things like that. We're still in growth stage, so we're just growing and picking up. I think what it boils down to with, we mentioned this before, people who can will, and people who can't won't. And and it's kind of, it's just one of those things where and then people who have and it's also about value. So if this is valuable to you, you will make it work. You will figure out a way to make something happen if it's of meaning and value to you, if it's a value to you. So you have tons of people who need life insurance. You have tons of people who need advice as it pertains to their finances or things like that. But that doesn't mean they take advantage of it. And you got people that need it, can't afford it, still don't do it. Right? So it's just about people being educated and people being motivated to do so. To do the things that are in their best interest. So
I hear you. So this is a question that has come in before, but we'll ask it again since Sean's on here. It is from Lauren. She is in South Carolina. She would like to say that she's very proud to see entrepreneurs and business owners. She wanted to know, she's looking into potentially starting her own business, some kind of boutique, I believe she said. She wanted to know when you made a conscious decision to go all in and start a business on your own and bet on yourself and go with it. And I'll start with you, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great question. I think you have to have certainly confidence. Yeah. And you can't be afraid to fail, right? I think any entrepreneur, has failed at some point or has seen some really, really rough spots. And, I think people have to come up with a very solid 18 to 24 24-month business plan. That's what I tell people. Everyone's got great ideas. Everyone wants to be in business for yourself, but do you have a plan? And does that plan stand up to different tests, right? What if this happens? What if that happens? How do you survive? People think like running a business, you make more money and you get tax write-offs, but I got to worry about payroll, right? And I got to worry about, we have 75 employees. I got to make sure 75 employees get paid every 2 weeks. I got to make sure that, healthcare is provided. Now, every business is a little bit different. But there's a lot of positives in owning your own business, but there is also a lot of sleepless nights, right? It's not always rainbows and sunshine, and I think that's always something to think about. But you have to have an appetite for risk, right? If you are someone who is somewhat conservative in your approach to risk, being an entrepreneur is a hard gig, right? It's to me, it's a risk-reward gig.
Well, and I think that's part of the reason why so many athletes are strong business owners, because they had to work through a lot of those challenges and those risks, like especially at the level that some of us competed. You had to be assertive. You just couldn't sit back. And that's where, and Steve and I have talked about this how many times. As an employer, I'm looking for employees that have experience of risk tolerance and even rewards as far as athletics. And my daughter last night, they're playing tomorrow night in the District 10 title game for volleyball.
Oh, wow.
They won the first 2 games last night. We thought we'd have a sweep, but instead they make the most nerve-wracking 5-game set and win by 5. But it was like we talked about last week, like, you got to be clutch. Like, Mackenzie served the first 6 or 7 points to start the match, and then she had the final kill of the game. And I'm not saying she was ultra clutch, but it's one of those things where when I'm hiring somebody, I want to know that in a pressure situation, at least you're going to stay calm and within the moment and not let it get too big for you. And we've seen these people going nuts, flipping out because they can't handle a certain situation. Like, the stress, the pressure, like Sean said, you know how many sleepless nights worrying about where the next revenue's coming from, or this expense that I know we've got to take care of, but the revenue that was supposed to come in got delayed. And I think, to Sean's point, like, they always, what's the saying? If you plan to fail, fail to plan, or if you fail to plan to fail. And so it is one of those things where get a business plan together, and you might have to deviate. But my brother Levi and I met this morning with an agent that we worked with 22 years ago at Coldwell Banker. His dad actually was a broker who got bought out by Coldwell Banker. They were a private boutique shop. And so he's now been with a larger corporation, and he sat down with us this morning. He's like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of all of these corporate shenanigans. I just want to be able to do my thing under a reputable umbrella that is going to support me in my challenges, but I don't need any more drama. And so I think that's where, in this market, whether it's the shutdown of the government, if you don't, and one of the things that kind of surprised me, I asked him, well, how much revenue did you generate? And he really didn't have a clear understanding. Now, he knew how much he took home, but like, okay, well, of your take home, how much did you generate? Because I know my numbers front and back.
Yes.
And it's like, how many people like, oh, well, this is what I took home. It's like, okay, but how much did you generate? And for somebody that wants to start a business, like, we looked at it, we were generating about 750,000 as a family in total revenue. Now, our take home when we were at a different brokerage was only about 350 or 400. And so our business coach was like, okay, if you generate 750 and between the three of you take home 450, can you operate a business on 300,000? And we thought we could, and that's, why we took the risk. But like, are you starting a business where you're already generating revenue in that field? And so you can say, hey, for the last year, this is how much I generate on my own if I went out and did it myself. So those types of things you have to think about. But it amazes me, or there's people who say they know how much money they earned, but they have no idea how much they spent.
Yes.
It's like, well, what do you mean? What's your monthly nut? I don't know. It's like,
Yeah.
That's so
Okay,
true. I
thank you.
got to agree 110% with Layman on that. Like how many conversations I've had, and well, I make this. Okay, well, but do you understand the math that goes into what the other side is, right? Maybe you take home 40%, but do you understand the other 60%?
right.
It's incredible, and I'm also gonna 100% agree with Layman on any interview. Did you play high school sports? Did you play college sports?
Yes.
It's just different, and I think about when you look at the government, right? You wonder, did they play sports, right? And
Tommy
honestly,
Tuberville.
think about it. It's
He's
like
the only one.
you said it, Layman. You know how to work through things, right?
Yeah.
You get in a tight
Yeah.
spot. You work through things. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a lot of people there sitting in Washington who never played cooperatively on a team.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I agree
And
with
Steve,
that.
you probably agree that Jesse Ventura as a WWF wrestler was a decent governor too.
Best governor in the history of Minnesota.
And then you had Schwarzenegger. I mean, yeah. So part of that, were they really athletes? It's interesting. But Tommy Tuberville, right? Isn't it Tommy Tuberville? That was a coach.
Tommy Tuberville.
Now
Yeah.
he's a senator or a congressman, something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I thought he got voted out.
He might have.
I know he was.
He was in for a while.
Got voted out, but he was there because hey, when you Southern football, you're a guy. All you had to do was show up.
Yeah, Brian Kelly might be headed that way. Who knows?
Man, there's a lot of changes going on, right?
There'll be more.
Too many. Too many.
Yeah. So, can you repeat that question, Steve? I just want to make sure I heard it.
Lauren is looking to possibly open some kind of boutique in South Carolina. And, she wanted to know what was the major step that made you make a decision to become a business owner. And I know you're in the first year of this business, but you've had other ventures and you've been an entrepreneur for many years. So she's just looking for, I guess, some advice on that before she starts out.
I mean, I would say the main thing is that one of the biggest things is freedom, right? You have a level of freedom that is different. And not only with that freedom comes some responsibility. And it's responsibility. It's a lot of terms you hear like these sayings of heavy is the head that wears the crown. So now you are the king or queen of that domain of your business, and you call the shots, and all of the glitter, the glitz and glam is on you. And when things go wrong and things go down, it's on you. So there's no one to turn to hey, what do we do? It's like you have to either put those things in place and put those people in place to help you make those decisions. But I would say what helped me is that I wanted the freedom, and I like the ability to call my own shot and to determine what and to also to not from an income standpoint, to not have a cap on what I could
your earning potential. Yeah.
Well, but I think there's a duality to that, Fresh, where it gives you the freedom but requires discipline. And that then goes back to that former athlete that you were. And especially as a walk-on, like, bro, you had the freedom to not have to play, but you had the discipline to where that was the passion that you had, and you made your teammates better. You got better because you had the discipline. So I think a lot of times, and that's where for us in real estate, it's freedom. But if I don't wake up with appointments, I'm laid off for the day. Like, you know what I mean? I'm unemployed if I don't have appointments. And so there is that freedom, but it requires that discipline. But to your point, man, there is no glass ceiling in entrepreneurship. Like, and I go back to my buddy that said, most important thing is get paying customers and then keep the paying customers. But I think that duality of freedom, but requiring discipline, it's a lot like that duality of confidence and humility. if you don't weigh them both, and I'm not doing the 6-7 here for the kids, but I mean, that duality is vital.
Yeah,
You like that,
for
Sean?
sure.
And
Yeah, sure.
I did. The 6-7. I still haven't figured it out, but I hear it every night at practice.
Yeah.
And James, your business, especially if your customers don't pay, you're stuck with it.
Yeah.
And people mention that because you came from a completely different industry, two different industries where you already had previous success. And what would you say that experience kind of taught you before starting your insurance business? And by the way, everyone is amazed that you passed the test by learning the answers.
Well, when I started my business, I realized there's no paid days off.
That's true.
Yeah, there's none.
No, dude.
There's no paid days off. So you have to you change into a different mode, because I don't get a guaranteed check every day or every week. I got to create my own opportunities.
Yeah, you're pounding the pavement. You're on the phone. I mean, you got to hustle.
Yep.
You got to hustle every day.
And like I told you guys before, I knocked on a lot of doors, and I had no problems doing it, because I can buy a bunch of leads and call people up all day, but that's not production. That's not production.
Right. No, it can be a waste if you're doing all that. I know it's a numbers game, but if the numbers don't work out, I mean, you're spending all day making those calls, pounding the pavement, and if it doesn't work out, I mean, it's a waste. It's a waste of your time and a waste of your money. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think I told you this story. I got tired of just waiting for the phone to ring or what have you, or just calling a bunch of leads. I didn't even get in my car. I literally walked.
Yeah. You did.
I literally walked. I made $10,000 in a day.
Right.
Now, what job does that? What regular job can you have that kind of opportunity? And that's what keeps me going, because I get some of my friends say, "Oh, I can never do what you do." I says, "That's why I do it."
Well, but it's interesting too, because one of the things that I thought of in our business, and when we started to bring on agents, we were very transparent with how we ran things, compensation, expenses, because we know that if you provide all the information, all the resources, it's about 3 to 5% of people who will actually do it. So I've never been afraid to share what I know and things like that, how we do things, because nobody's going to steal it and go do it better. 3 to 5% might actually have the initiative to go do something. And honestly, that 3 to 5%, if they learned it from you, they're probably going to give you credit and keep pouring referrals into you. So, I mean, there is something to be said for, again, the people who are going to support you, are going to actually take and run with an idea. Those are the people you want on your bus. You know what I mean? And then if they spread 100%. Their wings and fly on their own, most of the time they're going to appreciate you, the support you provided for them to launch their career, versus having so much fear that what you teach them, they're going to take and compete with you. It's like, all right, go ahead and compete with me. You won't beat me.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but we seem to have a lot of women that watch this show. This is from Cindy in Wyoming. I can't believe they're watching in Wyoming at the time difference. I guess I'll start with Sean on this. She is curious to know, because you mentioned having 75 employees. How effectively would you say your employees generate revenue and, earning that trust and being able to rely on them? Because that's 75 people you need to bring in money for you.
Well, I think the easiest way to explain that is it's a game, right? The numbers track, and that's the thing. When you're a salesperson,
that's
right?
True.
It's either you won or you're lost, and that's the thing. Financials are sales is the ultimate equalizer. So, you know, I mean, it's starting that we start in July, really in July, and plan everything out. But at the end of the day, you know, if one guy misses, hey, it's okay. If everybody misses, that comes back to me and our management team, right? Mm-hmm. And like that's the thing. Like you know, if we lose as a team, right? And our numbers, when we come out with budgets and forecasts, we understand that maybe not this guy or that guy it may not hit their numbers. That's okay because we got other guys that are going to make it up, right? Right. And so I think about it that way. I also think about it that you know, everyone's entitled to a bad year. You're not entitled to 2 bad years, right? You know, after 2 bad years in sales, you have to do some inner reflection, right? And we as managers have to do some inner reflection to say, hey, is this the right spot for the person? And then the final thing is everybody, I don't believe in having all home run hitters, right? There's some folks that I compete against.
Look at the Yankees.
Say, hey, yeah, right. Well, perfect example is, you know, like there's guys, there's people in our business that think, hey, you got to be able to do, you know, 150,000 in new revenue every single year. And yeah, I mean, there are, like to Laban's point, there's, you know, a small percentage of people that will do that, and that's great, and you want those guys. But you also want guys that are going to hit singles and doubles every single year and consistently. Yeah. And I think you need balance when you're driving revenue. If you have a ton of rock stars, you know, it's great. But when you have a ton of rock stars, you're going to have bad years. And you know, you got to be balanced. And guys, it's always good catching up with you, but I have to bail. I always appreciate being on the phone with all of you, and it's good
great to be with you, man. Yeah, be well.
Thanks for jumping on, Sean. I appreciate you.
Nice meeting you, Sean.
Guys. You guys be
good
well.
seeing you, man. It's been way too long, Sean. But yeah,
I know. Absolutely, Layban. Keep it real, man. Keep doing
all right, brother. Great seeing you.
Later,
and
guys.
honestly, I want to follow up on that, though, because we talk about planning, but one of the things that he mentioned that is important is to reflect on the year. So you've got a plan, right? But I would meet with our agents at least once a year, and I usually did it between February and March, between Valentine's Day and St. Patty's Day, for holidays, if you will. But I would meet with the agents and sit down and go through their previous year's production. And if it was better than the previous year, why? What did you do differently? I specifically remember in 2012 when Levi's wife was pregnant with twins. And I'm telling you right now, there is no greater motivator than 2 extra mouths to feed. Dude, he still to this day has not had as good of a year as he did when he knew he had twins coming. So, like, it is interesting because Sean said, hey, if everybody has a bad year or two, which is true, but do you know why? And again, I don't know why. I'm saying, have you thought about why? And if it's because, like, I know my mother at the end of last year had that illness, was in the hospital.
Yes.
Well, that makes Q1 very challenging when you have been in the hospital and haven't been working. So at least go through, once you have a plan, you've worked it through, make sure you sit down with a mentor or an advisor and reflect on that, or a business coach, and just say, hey, this was my plan and this is where I ended up. And if it was above where you planned to be, why? Explain why. Have an understanding why. Did you work harder? Did you work smarter? And then on the other side, if you didn't do as well, is it justifiable? Like, was there a legitimate reason where you just didn't produce what you were going to produce? And then in the last few years, it's just been the market because, you know, as Sean said, none of these salespeople are trying not to sell. Like, they want to sell more than ever. And I know that both from my family and my agents. So when years past have been down, I know it's not from a lack of effort. It's part of the market, but every market has an opportunity for somebody, buyer, seller, investor. So are you working the strength of the market? And so I just wanted to follow up with Sean's comment, because a plan is vital, but it's also as important to reflect on that plan to see, where did it take you? Do you need to change it for next year? And so much of it, we've talked about this, and my son Drew is reading the book, The Secret. Like you become what you think about.
That book changed my life.
Yeah, the law of reciprocity is real. Or he watched the video on Netflix, but it was his basketball coach, his private basketball coach, that has now had him read his third book. And now I'm realizing, as a father, I probably should have been insisting on this, but his coach did.
That's okay.
I'm thankful for that. But I mean, like, we were talking in the car the other day, and he literally said, "Oh, the law of reciprocity." Like, you understand, once you understand that, everybody, and that's why it's called The Secret. It's not a secret. Anybody successful knows that you manifest what it is you think about and focus on. And so it is so vital to get around people. And that was the guy that we met with this morning. He just wanted to be around good vibes and good energy and people saying, "Hey, attaboy, great job."
That's me.
As opposed to saying, "Oh, dude, you didn't turn in this, and this." All right, well, thanks. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there's a lot of great information there, but making sure you plan and then also reflecting and celebrating your wins. Because, again, we've been in business 18 years. We've done a lot of good things, and it's easy now when you do a great thing to just go through in the next day. Like, you can still celebrate success. And I encourage you to do that because once you've been successful for a while, it's easy to just think this is how we do it. But it is good to stop and celebrate, which we are doing that. Actually, I'll throw a plug in for our Prescott Closing Services is celebrating 10 years in business.
Wow.
So, yeah, tomorrow night we are going out as a partnership and having a little celebratory dinner.
Oh, that's good.
Lynn Fallon, I'll give a shout. She is amazing, runs that thing like no better operator could run it. And as a partner, I love what she's doing. So, yeah, make sure you celebrate your wins.
James, we have Catherine from Utah. She wanted to ask you about the Obamacare Affordable Care Act. Mm-hmm. Do you think it is as effective as is and can stay as is and still do the things that it's needed to do? Or do you think changes need to be made?
No, it's fine. Republicans has been trying to change it for years, but have no plan to do it. So if you have no plan, if you're trying to change something, you don't know what you're doing, what you're talking about, then there's something going on right. Laban, have your son read "Think or Get Rich" by Napoleon Hill.
Oh yeah, Napoleon Hill. That's another.
Think and Grow Rich. What do you mean?
Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich. Yeah.
Because she also said that from what she's hearing, they're trying to reduce the income or requirements to be able to get it, which would screw over a lot of people. No,
what it is there's a credit that has been in there, and the Republicans are trying to cut that credit, and for what? Because all it's going to do is make everything worse.
Right.
It's going to triple premiums. So, like me personally, I'm on the fence about doing healthcare this year. I really am.
Because you don't know what you're going to get. It could be a disaster, and it could be much less commission for you. Correct?
Well, it's not even the commission because, like, for Affordable Care Act, I don't make a lot. I don't make a mint.
Well, right.
I make like $40-$50. That's just me helping somebody out. But it's more of I don't want to sign somebody up for something that's going to triple later on because there's so much uncertainty in the industry right now, and I'd like to kind of stick to what I know, and not to say I don't know healthcare. It's just that for me, the juice isn't worth the squeeze after a while.
Fresh, we have a question about another person, Christina Russo. She is asking because she believes, obviously, she watches the show. She said, she thinks your business obviously is innovative. She is also someone who is considering opening her own business and wants to know, and obviously this is something that's probably difficult to tell her or answer. How can you find that innovation and creativity to open a unique type of business, like something with you, like you're doing with the high end service, with the pickup, the delivery, the scheduling online. You know, she said they have nothing like that by where she is, and she just wants to try to open a business that has some type of innovation and uniqueness that will help it stand out. And you managed, obviously, to do that. And I know you did a ton of research.
Yeah, for sure. Where's Christine located again?
Christina is in Colorado.
Well, thanks, Christina, for the question. Coming from Colorado, appreciate it. So, good question. It's no, it's great. So
it's great.
I would say it's, for one, you have to do things that, you know, Laban uses this term a lot in terms of diametrically opposed. You got to do certain things that are kind of like, they seem like they're like, like they might kind of be against each other, but they kind of go together. And it's funny because it's kind of aligns with, my pastor's been preaching on a series of both can be true. So he's been on this series of that. Both can be true. So you can not reinvent the wheel, right? By getting the business and doing a business where you're not reinventing the wheel, right? I'm not reinventing the wheel by doing laundry, right? Laundry is something that you get done. I'm not reinventing the wheel by doing picking and delivery, right? But the way I'm being innovative is I'm offering a different level of service that other people may not. We focus on detail. We focus on a clientele that we make them aware of things or pain points, or we just kind of we highlight the pain points and how this can take away some of that pain, right? This can give you more time to do something else. So you don't reinvent the wheel, right? So you take something that's already been done, that's been proven, that you know that works. This works, right? People do it. People pay for it. Now you go, okay, well, how can I get people to pay more for it? Or how can I get more people to pay for it to reach your goal? And then that's where the innovation comes in. And then to take it a step further, you figure out, how can I incorporate technology to do this? Whether that is get this in front of more eyes via using certain platforms, certain mediums that way, or how can I not have the need for someone to just sit around and do some like kind of busy work, or maybe you can incorporate AI into doing certain things. How do you streamline some stuff? So you want to be able to, for one, get familiar with something that is doable, you know what it's done, it's proven. Identify who your audience is, what's attractive to them, and those things, those kind of simple things can ring true, right? Because some people are like, all right, a lot of times when you think of innovation, people think of, okay, what's new? What's something that is super creative that no one ever done before? But when we really look at it, it's like most things, even if we consider to be innovative, it's something that was already done. You just made it.
Refined it.
You refined it and you did it a different way, right? Cars are cars. People drive cars, but now it's like, okay, how about if you had a self-driving car, right? So now the driving of a vehicle, or getting from to and fro from on 4 wheels didn't change. How you're doing it changes. From people had from how Uber has been innovative. You take things and how can you be innovative, right? So and that's what I'm actually working on, something within this laundry industry to be innovative. I cannot reveal it now because
intellectual property agreement.
Yeah, so so I'm working on some things where it could be cutting edge. It could be groundbreaking to where it is impactful in ways that most people don't think about it. And it's just little tweaks, right? Uber was just a shift in mindset.
That's true. Yeah.
It was just a shift. That's all it was.
Really was.
People like, started out cab, I'm doing that. But then it was just like, hey,
I didn't even think about
that. If you have free time, you can just do it. And then you know what I'm saying? It was just a shift.
I'm curious because it was the general taxi service. So somebody in that industry said there's got to be a better way to do it, and whether it was the licensing is how I feel like it started. Like I don't know what it required to get a taxi license back in the day, but in order to Uber, like you just download the app and have a vehicle old enough that fits the criteria, and you go. And so I think Fresh, a lot of what you're talking about is finding solutions. Right?
Yes.
Finding solutions to the points. And a lot of times, because I love your point about like you don't want to recreate the wheel, you just want to make it fit your vehicle better, right? I mean, I think that's where people get so hung up on trying to think of some latest, greatest idea, but it's like take what you do on the daily and improve that. And I think one of the things that I looked at is opening a gym, like a membership facility. Because a lot of personal trainers don't have a gym to go to or the equipment, but as a real estate broker, like I've got the brick and mortar and agents come work for us. So same idea for a gym. It's like, hey, if I own the gym, have all the tools and equipment you need, and you're a personal trainer, all you have to do is come be a member at my facility, and then you can train other members independently without me seeing any of it. So you offer that building where other people who don't have the means to acquire a building or the gym or the equipment, and now they have the personal certification to be a trainer. Now you provide that facility, right? And so there's just so many different, but people are going to keep working out. So I think to your point, Fresh, something that people need on the daily, and then how do you make it as efficient as possible. And then the creativity side usually comes just because as you're doing it, you realize better ways to do it. And and even if that comes from somebody, beneath you. And I think that's what happens. You have to listen to the people doing it to say, hey, Fresh, if you got this new machine, think of how much quicker we could turn this over. So I think part of it, though, have a plan and then getting started. You will figure out the creativity and the different quirks as you get going, because whatever intellectual property you're talking about, Fresh, that never would have come if you didn't have a business doing this that you could improve on, right?
For sure.
You got to get it started.
No, you got it. And it's interesting because what you mentioned, so it sounds like you're trying to, like you have an idea to basically do the Regis version for for gyms. So basically somebody like you need an office space. Instead of you need an office space, you need a gym space.
Right.
So now I got this space here that you can use and utilize. And it's even cooler than a place like Regis, because Regis, you're going to have like 15 different offices or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a bunch of different offices on a floor or whatever you got and people trying to do. Now it's just like, I got this open space that I have, multiple types of machines. You know what trainers do. You might, the fact of working out, all right, I might need X amount of cable machine, X amount of
Olympic lifts. Who focuses on Olympic lifts?
Yeah, you can just have a bunch of power racks, whatever you're going to do, you can know you're going to have that. And then you can have it to where now these all are similar, like you got similar setups.
Right.
You can have like 12 of these kind of setups, if you would, that are very similar, where people can get the Olympic lifts, and it's like you get access to kettlebells, whatever that is.
Exactly. That's the uniqueness and creativity. You're not, but it's like why would you do that? Because nobody else in the area is doing it. You know what I mean?
And it's brilliant. So it's brilliant. Not just the area. It's not many people. I don't think not many people, or if anyone, doing it anywhere. And that's where great idea. Follow through it. You know what I'm saying? Let me know you need any help with anything that.
And I think that's where, like, I've wanted to build a pole vault facility, but within there, you would be able to hoop,
say that, yes.
You would be able to hoop. You'd be able to do some lifting. I'd have massage therapy in there, stretching. Like, you start to build the ancillaries around a facility like that, and now you're not only creating a facility, but you're creating 3 or 4 job opportunities that make it easier. And it's all about convenience, Fresh. That's what you're talking about. Like the one-stop shop. I can go in here, get my workout in, get my lift in, get my stretch, and the massage. Why do I need to go anywhere else? So I've got more ideas than I do have time.
It's funny you mentioned that. I had something similar. So I was thinking, I don't know if I mentioned this to you before. I was because I still coach track.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about creating something called like a jump U. Like
Elite
just my
Retreat. I've already
name.
got the name.
So what'd you say?
I'm calling mine Elite Retreat so that you can meet me at the ER. It is, and again, it's not a retreat because we're gonna, but it's that.
No, I get it.
It's a retreat for the elite that are crazy and the screw loose that want to be better than everybody else.
And you got the brand. So that's the whole thing. The diametrically opposed. That both things can be true. Like you playing on words, the double entendre, the ER, all that. That's great. So you know what I'm saying, like. But I thought of like Jump You to where it's just like it's really for jumps, so people can get their their vertical and their horizontal jumps. They can get those in. I was trying to figure out how to incorporate some pole vault stuff so that can be a part of it too. Kind of adding that second vertical, but it was just that's it because there's so many kids that run track, and all the kids, everybody can't run. Everybody's not fast. Everybody don't got the wind to be distant, but track and field, it is so many other opportunities for you to take advantage of.
Yeah, and it's a hard sport. I ran track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but it's also the beauty, and any coach that you talk to in track, the reason we love track is how fast did you run? How far did you jump?
What's your time? What's your time? Yeah.
Right. I don't care that your dad's a local attorney. How fast did you run? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
So
no offense similar to what you're talking about, like not exact, but I wanted to have something that was specifically for a thing that they could just go to get that because kids go, a kid got to come to a track practice, come to practice, and they got to bounce around. Okay, I get this jumper for this amount of time. But I try to tell, how we always talk about this. It's not what you do between that hour and a half of practice. No. It's what you do either before or after that's going to make you take you to another level. So, and unfortunately, that's going to be private. But
it is.
Nowadays, people they pay, right? You're going to pay for your
private lessons. Trainers for everything, yep.
People will pay. If you can pay, if you got 2 pair of Jordans, that's like $600, right? So,
you can afford a $50 session.
Yeah, you can afford a $50 session. We can make it cheaper with a group session and get 3 of you guys. We could do so one of those things. And then that was my whole thing. Less wait time. You get right to the nitty gritty. You just come here to jump. That's all you come here to do.
Right.
You can do all your other stuff some other time. But yeah, I love it.
But I think that's true though. The more specific you can get with your business model, the better you're going to be because like there is a great book, The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. And and I always think about Wendy's with their Frosty. As soon as Wendy's started offering the vanilla Frosty and then the strawberry Frosty, I'm like, whoa, you got to keep that focus narrow, baby. You do chocolate Frosties. Don't go no. So I think sometimes when you try to be too much to too many, it really can hurt.
Really waters down your product.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there is something to be said for being specific, but also being able to cater to the masses to a certain extent. But Fresh, you're right. Like if I'm a jumper, that's where I'm going. I don't need to look at any place else. That's for me. So I think the more niche you can focus on, especially if you know that market's there, the better off you're going to be. And at that point, when you specialize like that, it's just like anything else. You can almost name your price because nobody else is doing anything like this, or nobody has the same facilities or knowledge. So great stuff.
Ties right back into what what we're talking about in terms of like being more niche, and you determine your niche by going back to I think Christina's question is by the pain points of what's lacking, like where's the lack, right? We talked about the whole Uber thing. There was a lack. Somebody said, cabs are outrageous. They're causing crazy. I have one option. I want more options.
Yeah. Right.
I want to be able to pull up in a black car without having to pay for a black car, whatever that is. So you find out what a pain point is. Okay. I'm looking at it for me in track. It was all these kids, they missing out. They're like, these kids I see this kid can jump, but this kid is all world. He's on the 4x1. He's doing this. They want him to do all these different things. And I try to tell, when I talk to parents, I said, look, parents, I understand you're part of this team, but I said, track is an individualized sport.
It is.
At some point, it is
track and tennis
sport, but you have to be a little selfish. You got to look hey, what is, because if your goal is to use it as a tool to help you get somewhere, then you got to be selfish with it, because it's one of those things where you can still help the team.
Nobody else can do it for you.
You can do these things. And I try to tell, like, and I don't know if you coach lay one of the things that I don't get with certain coaches with track, they want a nice relay. They want to, they want to do these things. I'm like, hey, if I put this kid that can guarantee me 20, 30 points, you get, say, call it 10 points as first place. This kid could get 30, 40 points by itself if he can do 4 events by itself. I'm not putting that kid on a relay. It is too many factors that can go wrong. There's too many factors. Somebody can false start. Somebody can do that. Now you can't. That kid is done. That one event done. That one event is done. But if you're telling me this kid can win the 100, the 200, they can win you, and they can the discus and that triple jump. That's 40 points.
Oh yeah,
one kid.
Yeah.
And so people don't get that. There's a coach down here that work in the program that we work with in the Durham Striders. He coached at his high school, and the girls, he's won like 20 something state championships. Last year he won another state championship. It's probably like, I think it might be like 7 or 8 in a row. He's done it every year for the past few years. He's done it with less than a dozen girls.
Because they're all doing multiple sports.
Less than a dozen girls.
He has a girl that she's going to win the 100 hurdles. She's going to win the high jump. And she's going to win the long jump.
Because he encourages the multiple events. He encourages multiple events.
Well, he knows that
I need you for my one.
Yes, he knows it, and it's her individual events. The only competition that girl has in their class was a girl that just came in as a freshman. Mind you, her mom was an amazing athlete in track, and then her dad was an Olympian. Her dad was a silver medalist, an Olympian.
That's a hard lineage to keep up with. Yeah.
Yo, this girl came in. She is the only competition. Your only competition is your teammate.
Yeah.
Do you know how good those girls are going to be? They are pushing each other at practice.
Yeah, it's true.
And the girl that you're 2 years older than comes in as a freshman and dethrones you as state champion.
Yeah.
Oh, you motivated. Now she's a senior and the other girl's a sophomore. It's going to be crazy this year.
Yeah, that's
just to say, like,
it goes
it's the
back.
pain points. It's the things that motivate you.
But I think also, because we talked about one of the first times, and I remember Nikki Cass. Well, it's not Nikki Cassingway anyway. That's how I know her. But she said, what is it? What is this secret sauce of UConn athletics? And I've always said that competitive edge that we all had. It wasn't a hatred. It was I love you and I want to make you better, so I'm going to beat you right now.
I'm going to push you.
And if you want to bring it, bring it. But I am bringing it full throttle. And I think, again, in business, we go back to that. Like, I like having former athletes working with me because I know they know how to kick it up a notch when necessary, and they also know how to kind of relaxed in a potentially panic situation, because in our business, we are the glue. Like, I can't have a panic seller. I can't convey that to the buyer or buyer's agent before they panic. You have to kind of absorb that and be the glue. Like Steve is the glue to all of us UConn alumni and all these shows, man. You are the man, brother. You might sit there and nod, but you truly are the best podcast host in the universe.
Oh, yes, I am. James, I gotta give you the last question. This is from Sandy, who is in Maine, and she is going to be getting into insurance, and she appreciates all your knowledge. She has 2 quick questions for you, if you're able to answer them. She wanted to know what you would say your customer retention rate is. And then she wanted to know if your customers are good about making referrals, because I guess that is a apparent big concern of hers.
If you're gonna do something for somebody and show that you care and treat them special, you get all the referrals in the world. You shouldn't even have to ask. If you're saying to a customer when you're conversing with this person, I'm going to do this for you, and I'm going to show you the benefits of what this product is and things like that. That person is going to feel thankful because they didn't know what they were doing in the first place. But not only that, they're going to automatically have somebody who is in the similar boat as them. So they will refer, especially if you did right by them. My customer retention rate. So when I do like retirement stuff,
it's different.
It's different. Sure. So my retirement stuff is pretty much almost 100%.
Yeah, I would say, because once they sign up for you, that's it, right? They're pretty good to go. It's tough to get out of it. Okay.
Now, when I do final expense, meaning it's really insurance for funeral, that might be 80% because
so they can switch when they have a funeral. They can use a
you would use insurance to pay for a funeral. So
okay.
Yeah, your average funeral is somewhere in the range of $5,000 to $10,000 average.
To die? It's $5,000 to die?
To get buried.
Oh my God! Can they throw me in the backyard?
You can die for free.
Unfortunately, it's higher. It's probably around 15. Is probably around the minimum right now. $15,000.
All right, they're throwing me in the backyard.
When my mom died 6 years ago. This is before I became an insurance agent. We paid about $12,000. So,
and that's for everything. That's for
everything.
The wake, the funeral. Oh my God! Good God, bro! I mean,
I remember my grandfather, being a military guy, said, "Hey, they provide a wooden box. Just take that."
Did he really say that?
Oh yeah. I mean, now and once he passes, you have more regard for him than that. That was his position. Like, hey, dude, just use whatever they provide.
When my father passed, we made sure that my father was insured because he was a heavy smoker and all that stuff. We got him $10,000 in coverage.
Oh, okay.
And that was from 6 years ago. So he passed last year. I think his funeral was like $9,500.
So it was able to cover it.
100%.
Wow. God, I didn't know it was that expensive to die.
But here's the thing.
Keep living.
Final expense insurance is like going out for car insurance. Everyone's looking out for the best price for the coverage. That's why the retention rate is kind of 50-50 because there's some people who won't change. There are some people who will not change if you did them right. If you did right by them, they're not going to change. But you have some people who while they're still healthy, I can, I'm paying $45 for $7,000 in coverage. Let me see if I can get better.
But you would say to her, obviously, the referrals are most important.
Yeah, that's your money.
That's where you make your money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you spend when you're an agent, you're spending money on either leads and or marketing, and it gets expensive. So
it adds up.
Yeah. So I'm trying something new where I'm using AI. And AI is going through my LinkedIn and talking to getting you the proper leads. Correct.
Right? Because you can tell exactly who you want to target.
Correct.
And then it'll go after them.
Correct. And it's not cheap either.
Beautiful. Yeah. All right. Well, great show, guys. This was a good one. I apologize for the questions I didn't get to. You guys, I don't know if you've seen our viewership, but our viewership numbers have been going sky high.
Oh,
we
amen.
had like 60,000 viewers.
Thank you for everybody who's tuning in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And also, congrats to you, Steve. I'm seeing your numbers. I looked over past. Steve went from like 7 to 9 to like 12. His subscribers are going up and up and up.
Killing it.
I can't believe it. So thank you to, of course, Laban Marsh, King of Real Estate, Erie, PA. James Whitfield, Luther James Insurance. Go to his website, lutherjamesinsurance.com, or message him on LinkedIn. Ned Von Young, Fresh Fold Laundry Co., high-end laundry service. They wash, dry, fold it for you. You can book online. They have an online subscription model, weekly or bi-weekly, and you can check out their website. They have a new location coming up. And is it freshfold-laundry.com?
It's my-freshfold.
My-freshfold.
My-freshfold. So we It's still at Fresh Fold that still exists, but my dash Fresh Fold is
that's the one. Okay,
yeah, that's
I'll
all
make
my
sure to
handles
put
on
that in
my
the
Fresh
notes.
Fold right now, so it's easier.
All right. And I am Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. Has been Broker Than You. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at life.
With a little curve to it.